No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of the 2023 WWE Crown Jewel Premium Live event. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I appreciate your viewership and support. Chat room, if you're watching live, leave your comments. I will put some of them up on the screen. It's nice to be doing one of these recaps at 4:40 Eastern time. I definitely like it. WWE has some more international shows planned out for 2024. Thank you, WWE, for that. I appreciate it. Now, let's get to Crown Jewel. Hot crowd in Saudi Arabia for the most part. We'll get to that in a few minutes here. For the first time in a while, we had a kickoff match. We had Sami Zayn versus JD McDonagh. Basic match that would have been on a Raw or SmackDown. Raw, since they're Raw members. It was just to get Sami Zayn on the show. Sami Zayn, of course, picked up the win. Haluva kick, followed by the Blue Thunder Bomb. Yes, Sami Zayn got a win with the Blue Thunder Bomb. You know you're a lower tier guy when you lose to that move. Poor JD McDonagh. Walter Cruz and I were correct on that. We figured if Zayn was going to win a match with that move, this would be the match against a guy like JD McDonagh. It was a fine kickoff match, though. I'll give him that. We had our opening match, the main pay-per-view match. We kicked it off with the World Championship on the line, and my eyes are tearing up a little bit. We're live, everybody. The bright lights, they're getting to me here. We had Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Timeout, guys. I got to wipe my eyes. We're live, pal. And we're back. Sorry about that. We are live, and that's the first time that's happened in a while. My eyes just got all watery all of a sudden, the sweat and the lights. Let's get to this. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. Crowd was into Seth Rollins, the champion, but they were really into Drew McIntyre. They were singing, they were chanting for McIntyre. It was a very competitive match here, a lengthy match between these guys. They got a good amount of time here. They did the feeling out process in the beginning. And Rollins did a lot of flashy moves in this match. He came off with a springboard moonsault. He actually got McIntyre up for a Falcon Arrow. McIntyre, of course, kicked out of that. And then Rollins went for his combo, his superplex and Falcon Arrow, but McIntyre was able to counter that. And during the match, Rollins was selling his back. You know, he still has that so-called broken back. McIntyre was capitalizing on that. Rollins went for a buckle bomb, but his back gave out on him. McIntyre with the Future Shock DDT. And then he sent Rollins back first into the steel steps and gave Rollins a side slam onto the apron. Not looking good for the champion here, but Rollins managed to hit the pedigree. McIntyre kicked out of that, and then McIntyre avoided a stomp. Rollins was able to avoid the Claymore. He finally hit the stomp. McIntyre kicked out. And then McIntyre hit the Claymore, but Rollins kicked out of it. So McIntyre not able to get the job done with his trademark move. He went for a second Claymore. He missed. Rollins hit the pedigree, then the curb stomp, and got the 1-2-3 victory. Seth Rollins, still your World Heavyweight Champion. Really good match here. And I did expect the clean win here for Seth Rollins. After the match was over, McIntyre left. He was totally distraught. Damian Priest showed up and attempted to cash in Money in the Bank. But Sami Zayn, that son of a bitch, Sami Zayn. I say that because of the No DQ Predictions League. I was going for a cash-in. Did not happen because Sami Zayn attacked attacked Priest and ran off with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Which means Judgment Day versus Sami Zayn, that feud continues. I mean, I suppose we're going to see the conclusion to it at Survivor Series. They did confirm that War Games will be returning at Survivor Series as rumored, and I'm figuring it will be Judgment Day versus Team Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, and whoever else they can get to team up with them. No cash-in. Rollins retains, and we're continuing the slow burn of the McIntyre heel turn. I was thinking maybe this would be when he pulled the trigger and snapped and fully went heel, but they're continuing to slowly build up to it. And backstage, Rhea Ripley walked up to McIntyre and basically gave him a look of, I told you so. You should have had us help you out. You would have been the champion. We'll see what happens with that. Really good match to kick off the show. And then we had the Fatal 5-Way match for the Women's World Title. Rhea Ripley defending against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Zoey Stark, Raquel. 5-way match. I think I got everybody. Nia Jax, Shayna, Zoey, and Raquel. Yeah, 5-way match for the Women's Championship. Rhea got a special entrance. Several Saudi men came out there and stood on the stage as Rhea Ripley came out. I thought it was pretty cool to have the men out there, and they were there for the entrance of Rhea Ripley. Made her look like a big deal in Saudi Arabia. I liked it. Pretty clear, though, who was winning, at least to me. When Rhea Ripley gets the big entrance, she's the star here. Figured she was going to win, but everybody got to shine in this match. It was a good match. It was competitive. Everybody got their moment in this match, and we even had the Tower of Doom spot in these multi-way matches. Rhea Ripley and Raquel were going for a superplex on Zoey. Shayna Baszler came in and powerbombed them, so we had the 4-person spot. Rhea Ripley and Raquel went at it for a while. They took each other down with the big boots. Nia Jax was playing it smart. She stood on the outside for a while, but then she picked her spots, and we had several near falls, pinfalls broken up. Raquel actually got Nia up for her choke slam power bomb, but that pin was broken up. And for the finish, Rhea Ripley was able to hit the Riptide off the top. So she hit the Riptide, an avalanche Riptide, onto both Raquel and Shayna Baszler. And since Shayna was on the bottom, Rhea pinned her and got the 1-2-3 victory. I thought it was a solid match. Like it definitely was a perfectly worthy match considering how it played out. Predictable, but it was a good match and a nice showing for Rhea. I will say this. Some people have criticized Rhea Ripley's title reign for being lackluster and she hasn't really done much. Well, she just beat 4 top contenders here. This was maybe Rhea's best title defense to date as far as establishing her truly as a dominant champion. She's not just coming out there holding the title. She successfully defended it against 4 top contenders. And the contenders looked good too. It wasn't just like a squash or anything. So I thought it was well executed. Next up, we had John Cena versus Solo Sikoa in the match where John Cena was trying to end his 5-year singles match losing streak. And this was a very good match. John Cena was smart. He was trying to target the arm of Solo Sikoa, target the hand, the spike hand specifically. Solo, of course, using his head, literally, with the headbutts. And Cena was able to avoid a Samoan spike attempt. He applied an STF, but Solo was able to escape. Solo punished Cena for a while. Cena got his second wind. Solo got hit with the 5-knuckle shuffle, but was able to avoid the AA with a Samoan drop. And then Cena started to make a comeback. He targeted the hand again, came off the top with a crossbody. Crowd was chanting, "You still got it." Solo kicked out, of course. Solo countered another AA attempt, hit the spinning Solo. Cena kicked out of that. Cena blocked the Samoan spike, reapplied the STF, but Solo once again escaped, hit the Samoan spike, could not make the cover. He then hit 2 more spikes and purposely did not go for the cover. And at this point, it was all about sending a message. Roman Reigns had the message to finish off John Cena, and that's what Solo Sikoa possibly did here. Several more spikes. He just kept spiking Cena repeatedly and finally put Cena out of his misery and got the 1-2-3 victory. I was thinking John Cena was going to win here. I went with John Cena to win, but he ultimately did the right thing. He put over Solo Sikoa big time. For all the criticism of John Cena over the years, Cena, he's out. This was his final match of this run with the actors' strike wrapping up soon. This was as far as Cena was committing, and he decided to make Solo Sikoa look as strong as possible. I mean, massive respect to John Cena. Like, Cena could have argued, hey, I'm going to go for that 17th world title. I should win a match here. Instead, he put over Solo Sikoa like an absolute beast. So, yeah, props to John Cena for that. And I'm sure he'll be back at some point, but he did not need to put over Solo, and he did the right thing here. He made the young guy look like a superstar. So really good match here, and Solo gets some revenge on behalf of Umaga. We have a few super chats here. Ghetto Frogger 303 sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate the super chat. Says, if they didn't break up the bloodline, would have liked to have seen the bloodline versus Judgment Day for Survivor Series for who's the top heel stable. It would have been an interesting storyline to do that, but we've had so many months of Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, but Owens is on SmackDown now, could end up being interbranded. I mean, I feel like this is the logical match, Judgment Day versus Team Cody Rhodes at Survivor Series. And remember, War Games was Dusty Rhodes' match, so it figures Cody's going to be in this leading his team. It makes sense to do this, but I could see the bloodline potentially working with Judgment Day as they teased a few weeks ago. Gareth Smith sent in a €5 super chat. Thank you for that, Gareth. He says, hey up, mate, decent show. Was surprised Solo went over Cena. Strong. Big things for him soon. Looking forward to War Games. As am I. War Games should be a great match. And Solo Sikoa now, if WWE does decide to have Solo go off on his own and face Roman Reigns and challenge him for the tribal chief spot, like they definitely can do that now and make it credible. Solo finishing off John Cena for the time being, that's huge for Solo and could set him up for a potential match with Roman Reigns down the line. And Caleb, the Laker fan, sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Says, is this the end of John Cena's in-ring career? I don't think so. I do think it's his last match for a while. This definitely felt like, hey, the actor's strike is ending. Cena's getting back to work with his current job that he's been doing, and he'll be gone for the time being. But there's always that 17th world title to chase, coming back for the one more match. And you would think he would need to actually win some singles matches to be a contender, but they'll make it work out. They'll come up with something. They could tell the story. He can come back and beat somebody, beat a Grayson Waller or somebody like that, and maybe even a Logan Paul, beat him and become a contender. Like they could do some stuff to set up John Cena for the 17th world title. I definitely do not see him done. He'll be back at some point. All right, moving on here. We had what was maybe a turning point in the show, because up to this point, Crown Jewel was killing it. They were having a great show here, red hot crowd, and then we had Miz TV. Miz TV with this actor, I cannot pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to disrespect him by botching his name. But this actor came out there, I guess one of the biggest actors in the Middle East, and the segment was interrupted by Grayson Waller. Waller was hijacking Miz TV, making it the Grayson Waller effect, and the actor said he came there to be on the hottest show, which was Miz TV. So, of course, Waller did not appreciate this. He took a cheap shot at this guy, and then Miz attacked Waller, gave him the skull-crushing finale, and then the actor did the people's elbow to Grayson Waller and celebrated with the Miz. So, yeah, Miz is a babyface now. I think if it wasn't clear on Raw, they're definitely going in the direction of Miz being a babyface. And I think this was just a segment for the Saudi Arabia crowd, a cool-down segment, although one could say it was definitely a cool-down segment. And we'll get to that here in just a few moments. It was a filler segment. It was what it was. But, yeah, it effectively cooled off the crowd, because we had our next match, Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul for the U.S. title, and the crowd was really quiet. They were shockingly quiet, in my opinion. I mean, Logan Paul, he's been there in Saudi Arabia. He's a worldwide celebrity. And Rey Mysterio is Rey Mysterio, but there was a shocking lack of crowd heat for this match. Now, it was still a very good match. I thought it was really solid. Logan Paul got his big celebrity entrance. He was driving through the desert, and he actually drove out to the stage from the streets of Saudi Arabia, Rhea. And Rey Mysterio got the early momentum, went for submission. Logan Paul was able to slip to the outside of the ring, and he came in, was able to avoid a 619 attempt. Rey went for a crossbody. Logan caught him. Logan slowed the pace down for a while, and he worked over Rey. Then they both ended up on the top rope, and Logan gave Rey this moonsault fallaway slam maneuver. Rey was able to kick out of that. Rey went for a 619. Logan caught him. And there was a point I wanted to mention this where Logan caught Rey and literally probably saved Rey from getting hurt very badly. Rey was about to land on his head, and Logan caught him and hoisted him up. So Logan's doing really good in WWE. Like he knows what he's doing. And somebody from Logan's entourage showed up and tried to hand Logan some brass knucks, but Rey knocked them out of Logan's hand. They fell to the outside of the ring, And then Santos Escobar stopped the guy who's with Logan from grabbing the brass knucks. Santos took the brass knucks and very suspiciously put them on the apron and then chased after this guy and chased him away to the back. Ray hit the 619, but Logan had grabbed the brass knuckles and then knocked out Ray with the brass knucks and got the 1-2-3 victory to become the new United States champion. Definitely something up here, because now we're wondering, why did Santos just leave the brass knucks there? Was it an accident? Was he just not thinking in the moment? Or was it done with a sinister purpose? So yeah, I liked the angle they did here. I thought this was well done with the Santos tease that maybe something is not right. And then after the match, whether he was being sarcastic or not, Logan went over to Ray and was trying to be respectful, calling him a legend and saying it was an honor and all that stuff. And Ray was pissed. Ray was just like, I know what you did. So I liked this. I thought this was good too. It was a good match, good angle. Unfortunately, the crowd just wasn't into it that much. That was unfortunate. I don't know if the Miz segment really turned off the crowd. It was weird. Like the crowd just, it was like a 180. They were so hot in the beginning of the show. And it wasn't even like this was a really long show up to this point. So that surprised me. The Game is on 100 sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, Logan wins to set up LA Knight winning at WrestleMania guarantee. Well, that would not shock me. I did mention this when we did our predictions video, that maybe LA Knight would beat Logan Paul. I suspect Kevin Owens will feud with Logan Paul. Like there's several feuds you can do now with Logan Paul. And of course, Logan Paul can make all the appearances as United States champion, do his podcast. I mean, I figured Logan was winning this one. Pretty obvious. Next up, we had Io Sky versus Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's Championship, not to be confused with the Women's World Championship on Raw. So, a good match, but the crowd heat was even worse for this one than the last one. Like they were dead silent for this match. Like even when Bianca started making her comebacks, like you could almost hear a pin drop in the arena. It was really sad. I, again, don't know what happened here, why they were so quiet for this match. And I feel like they were hot for Bianca at the other shows. I don't know if it's the storyline, that they just weren't invested in the storyline, but there was little reaction to this match. And it was a very competitive match here. And you had Io trying to use the ponytail, but that backfired on her. And we had Bayley show up, which was not a shock at all. I mean, they tried to act like Bayley wasn't going to be a factor in this match. Bianca even cut a promo. Bianca beat Bayley on SmackDown and put her through the announce table and was acting like Bayley wasn't going to be there. Well, Bayley was there. No shock. Bayley was out there interfering, and you had Bianca going after Bayley, and then Io accidentally attacked Bayley, so it looked like the tide was turning. Bianca was about to give Bayley the KOD through the announce table, but then we had the surprise return, although it was practically spoiled that she was showing up here. The word was already out. Kairi Sane is officially back. Her return to WWE has been rumored for quite a while now, for several months, and then the other day it was reported that her return was imminent and she was possibly going to show up at Crown Jewel. So not a surprise to me. And if you read the reports, it probably wasn't a surprise. Unfortunately, the crowd, I don't even know if they knew who she was. Like, she's been out of WWE for like 3 years now. Crowd was already dead though, so it's hard to say. But yeah, there was practically no reaction to Kairi. She's a heel, which I think she works better as a babyface personally, but they're aligning her with Io Sky. They have their history together. And I wonder if we're getting the tease of a Bayley babyface turn, because Bayley reacted to this like she did not know this was going to happen. Bayley appeared to be shocked. And of course, Io was able to get the win here. Bianca was about to be counted out. She got back into the ring, but was immediately hit with the moonsault. She refused to take the count out loss. She got in the ring, got hit with the moonsault. Io retained. So I was wrong on this one. I predicted Bianca. Part of me thought like if Kairi was going to show up, she would be a babyface and help Bianca take care of Bayley, but didn't happen. WWE is going in a different direction here. I'm thinking a Bayley babyface turn now with Io and Kairi as heels. And maybe some more people will join them. They might even make like a new Damage Control. After the match was over, the attack continued, and Kairi came off the top with her insane elbow, which looked great. She did a great job with that. So we'll see where it goes. I'm definitely intrigued by it. I just feel bad for everybody involved that for whatever reason, the crowd was just completely out of it for this match. Like they did not give two shits about what was going on here. Caleb sent in a $2.11 super chat. Thank you for that, Caleb. Says 85 days as champion for Rey Mysterio, which is fine. Like it wasn't going to be a major title run, nor should it be for Rey Mysterio. Like, you know, he's a legend, he's a veteran, but you really want to focus on your younger guys, and Logan Paul as champion makes sense. So yeah, it wasn't the longest reign, but hey, for Rey Mysterio to even have a title run in 2024 is pretty remarkable. So at least he got something. He got a little bit of a reign. We then had Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest, which it was a good match, but I really didn't care about it too much. At least the crowd woke up. Like they woke up big time for this one. They love Cody Rhodes, and because Priest is Priest and he's the heel here, they were hating on him. They were chanting, "You suck." And Priest was taking it to Cody. Priest gave him a reckoning on the announce table, but then Cody started to make his comeback. And then guess what? We had the shenanigans. And for those of you keeping track, this was the third match in a row with outside interference. We had Finn Balor show up, and then JD McDonagh trying to attack Cody with the referee distracted. Cody fought him off, and then Finn Balor brought out Dominic Mysterio. Priest hit the South of Heaven chokeslam. Cody kicked out of it. Dominic came out there with the steel chair. Jey Uso then made the save. Took everybody out with super kicks and chased them away with the chair. Match continued to go back and forth. Cody hit a top rope Cody cutter. Priest kicked out. And then Cody delivered 3 crossroads to finally score the victory over Damian Priest. Match was good, but I mean, I don't think anybody thought for a second that Damian Priest was winning here. And it was the usual outside interference. Didn't really need to be on this show, quite frankly. I mean, it did serve a purpose. It woke the crowd up, but it was basically a glorified Raw match. And then we had the main event of the evening, Roman Reigns versus LA Knight for the unified title. Fans had like LA Knight signs. Somebody must have printed out like 1,000 of them and handed them out. So it was a pretty cool visual for LA Knight. And I will say this, LA Knight did well. This was his biggest match in his career, and he held his own. He performed well in the main event setting, worked a good match with Roman Reigns. But with that being said, it was every single Roman Reigns match that we've seen. Like pretty much nothing out of the norm, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, it wasn't unexpected. Like it went down pretty much exactly as I expected. It was back and forth. Roman Reigns got the heat for a while, started trash talking, the usual. Crowd actually started chanting CM Punk at one point. So get ready for that at Survivor Series. You know it's coming, whether he shows up or not. The CM Punk chants are back now until he returns, which I think he will at some point. I just don't know when. So Knight eventually made his comeback. He avoided a spear, and then he did his big thing where he jumps up on the top, superplex, did the elbow, and guess what? We had the shenanigans. We had Solo Sikoa showing up, Jimmy Uso interfering, and LA Knight went after them, or went after Jimmy specifically. Solo was just there to set up the distraction. So basically the same kind of deal as we saw in the previous match. And for the fourth straight match in the row, we had outside interference. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Like if you're going to book this stuff with the outside interference, then you got to just do it for one match. 4 in a row with outside interference. Come on now, Triple H, you should know better. So anyways, Knight put Jimmy through the announce table. After Knight had the match won, he hit the BFT to Reigns, but Jimmy put Reigns' foot on the rope. So they did protect the finisher. I will say that Reigns could have kicked out of the BFT, but they had the foot on the rope deal from Jimmy to save the title for Reigns. Making Knight look strong. Like it was all pretty much textbook, what we were expecting here. And they went on the outside of the ring, and Jimmy was put through the table by LA Knight, but then Reigns capitalized. He speared LA Knight through the barricade, got him back in the ring, hit another spear in the ring, and got the 1-2-3 victory to pick up the win and retain his championship. So yeah, it was underwhelming in my opinion. I really could not get into this match just because I knew LA Knight was not winning. It's a filler match. Reigns is going to WrestleMania as champion. He's probably not defending again until the Royal Rumble. It's just like we know Reigns is getting to WrestleMania as champion. So the main event was kind of underwhelming. I was wishing that they would have tried to do something different. Like not necessarily have Knight win, but do a different type of match, different from the formula. It was every single Roman Reigns match that we've ever seen. So they did a good job in protecting LA Knight, but it was just the template. They were just following the template of what they've done. And what's funny is Michael Cole on commentary even called it the same old story. And I'm even surprised that he would say that, because we're all thinking it like it's the same old shit. We're just really tired of it. And now Roman Reigns goes away seemingly for another 3 months. Again, not unexpected. Just still managing to be disappointing, because I was holding out hope that they could have done something a little bit different with this. Adrian sent in a $2 super chat off topic here, says, where did you get the t-shirt? Got it from, I believe, Kohl's, but I'm not 100% positive on that one. I think I got it from Coles. So here's my take on Crown Jewel. First half was really strong. Second half, not quite as good. Part of it was the crowd just died for a while. And, the too much outside interference, too predictable, kind of felt just like they were following the formula. No real big shock. Even Kairi Sane returning, if you were following the news, wasn't really a surprise. Because of that, it was a good show, but not great. Definitely not a great pay-per-view. Just good. If you enjoyed it, if you watched it and enjoyed it, then you got something out of it. But if you missed the show, I don't necessarily think I would recommend the show. Maybe check out the world title match. But other than that, wasn't really a show that you needed to go out of your way to watch, in my opinion. I did enjoy it being in the afternoon. That was a positive. So for that, I'm giving it a solid B. If it was a late night pay-per-view, I'd probably go with a B-. But I'm going with a B for my own personal enjoyment of it being an afternoon show. Far from the best WWE pay-per-view of the year, though. I mean, because of the quality of the pay-per-views this year, it might actually be bottom tier for WWE pay-per-views, because WWE's been hitting with the pay-per-views for the most part. And this one was a little below par. So B pay-per-view at best, in my opinion. Somewhat recommend, but don't really feel you need to go out of your way to watch it if you missed it. And that's all I got for Crown Jewel. I hope you guys enjoyed the recap. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up on YouTube. Spread the word. You can check out more detailed results over at NoDQ.com. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the latest. It's NoDQ's 25-year anniversary this Thursday night. I will be doing a live Q&A at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific to celebrate 25 years of NoDQ. NoDQ Review will be back Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm sure we'll be talking more about the fallout from Crown Jewel and what's coming up next with War Games and everything. So stay tuned for that. Take care, everybody. Buy a shirt at nodq.com/merch. And remember, say yeah to nodq.com, and I will see you all next time.